Well, TGIF people. K Styles in the building, aka this is 6MK versus Kev. Um, Thought I'd do a little pop up here and there right before we go to the ATL Sports end game later this evening. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, this is 6MK Live. And I thought I want to go ahead and give a little preview to the upcoming Falcons Vikings game a little bit. Um, like I said, 6-man combo. We really didn't get into it like that. Had some other things that had to be addressed, so we apologize to the people for that. But and we're gonna also ask the question about the Georgia Tech Clemson game, and I know this is gonna turn a lot of people off this live, but I don't care. John St. Clair, Keyshawn Vlad, appreciate you coming on. So let's get right into it. So as we already know, some of the news that came in for this game. Um, yes, the number one and number two wide receiver should be a goal in this game. If that's Drake London and Darnell Mooney, that's going to play a key part in what I like to call the 5 point plays for the Atlanta Falcons. If you seen the short that's on this channel, so that pretty much is going to describe it. Mike, what's going on, man? So let's go ahead and get right into it, man. So storyline going into this game, Falcons 0-1. A lot of people are disappointed that they didn't really come away with the victory week one. We still got Falcon fans crashing out as usual. Tell these motherfuckers get over it. It is Friday. The game is in 2 days. You still crashed out about last Sunday. You need to sit your ass down. So the concept of what the 5 point the 5 points victory is this was an idea that was helped thought of by Mad Mike Sports crazy ass, which is in here. A137, what's going on, man? Um, so I'm gonna give you not 3 keys to victory, but I'm gonna give you 5 points to look out for and what is need to be done. Um, as you already know, the Minnesota Vikings that had a um impressive second half versus the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. So if you didn't catch the Heavy Hitters Live, we kind of spoke on this. As you saw, Mad Mike Sports gave his preview, as well as Jew Talk Sports gave his preview. Appreciate that, Mike. Like I said, you better go and hit that like button. So let me go ahead and give you the first point in this matchup that I have is to contain Justin Jefferson by any means necessary. Now, as we already know, just off the previous game in itself, and just off of, let's take it back to last year. Okay, so we faced the Minnesota Vikings last year. And the one thing that they did very well, and the one thing that they did that surprised me, was the moving of Justin Jefferson all over the formation, whether he was on the Z side, whether he was on the X side, or whether he was in the slot. He did a lot of his damage in the slot. So in this game in itself, um, the AJ Terrells, the Mike Hughes, the Billy Bowmans, the D Offers, The Xavier Watts, the Jesse Bates are going to have to be on their P's and Q's and do whatever they can to contain Justin Jefferson. Because, like I said, the thing is, they're going to force Justin Jefferson to football by any means necessary. So we have to do our best job to contain Justin Jefferson. All right. We got point number two. Point number two is to frustrate J.J. McCarthy as soon as possible. Like I said, we know the Falcons' history when it comes to rookie quarterbacks, young quarterbacks. It always seems like it's always a coming out party when it comes around versus the Falcons. And this is one of those aspects that a lot of people worry about. Like I said, this was a conversation that I had at work the other day about this, and some Falcon fans are a little bit worried that history is going to repeat itself. We don't worry about that over here. The main thing, like I said, is like I said, we have to force J.J. McCarthy to make mistakes. Just like we did Baker Mayfield. But in this game, if you're going to force J.J. McCarthy to make bad throws and bad mistakes, we have to capitalize on those situations. Rather it be taking advantage of possible interceptions, which also can contribute to getting the quarterback down, because J.J. McCarthy is a of the new era of the dual threat quarterbacks. Like I said, pretty much every quarterback in the NFL right now is a dual threat quarterback, so that's not even a special term anymore. We have to force J.J. McCarthy into mistakes, and we have to take advantage of those mistakes, because we cannot have another week of saying the same thing. Oh man, if we would have got that interception and stuff like that. So Jesse Bates said it in his press conference earlier today, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. So they understand that aspect of things. I don't know why my phone going off right now. Hold on. All right. All right, there you go. There you go. There you go. Now, we have point number three. We have to neutralize the Minnesota Vikings pass rush. Like I said, the green yards. Um, like I said, Minnesota has a very comparable defense. That's one of the culture staples of the Minnesota Vikings is their front four, front seven, and like I said, will try to do their best to be a little aggressive. Like I said, not as aggressive as what we saw with Ty Bowles, but we already know how Brian Flores is. Um, their defensive lines are usually pretty physical. So we have to neutralize that pass rush. And the best way we have to neutralize that pass rush is pretty much what we did last week. Short passing game, utilize all the playmakers closest to the line of scrimmage. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Kyle Pitts, Charlie Warner. Get Dre London involved in the quick passing game and do whatever you have to do to neutralize that pass rush. Like I said, the pass rush could play like ass against us, but we have to have the mindset of this. And Lord and behold, it will continue to help protect the quarterback. It will help protect Michael Penix. It will help protect Junebug. All right. Auntie Pam, what's going on? What's going on? Um, Let me see. What is this? Okay. Point number 4. Get Kyle Pitts involved early in this game. Now, as we already just talked about the news with Drake London and Darnell Mooney. Oh, well, I don't know why I was about to say Darnell moving, but whatever. Do not have injury designation, so they are expected to play in this game. Now, what I'm saying, get Kyle Pitts involved early in the game to help open it up for everybody else. I think the distribution to Kyle Pitts in the first game was exactly what they needed it to be. Use him as a tight end. I think the problem that a lot of people kind of had with Pitts over the years is they were expecting to use him as a Julio Jones type, a wide receiver. But when you already have wide receivers in this game coming back, you use the tight end like a tight end. Quick passes, close to the line of scrimmage. Yes, the yards, the yards per catch is not going to be high. But what you do is you give the defense something to think about, as if Kyle Pitts, and you're making him a threat, and it also opens things up for everybody else. And it helps with the yardage for the wide receivers too, because like I said, even though Drake London had the most catches and the most yards last week, he had 8 catches for 55 yards. And we already know with Drake London's biggest issue is he can't separate from a corner if he tried. He's one of the worst wide receivers in the league at getting separation off the line of scrimmage. So Kyle Pitts accentuates that. Healthy with a hopefully healthy Drake London. D. Coleman said, "What's good? I got a new sport for you. Jiu-jitsu and suits. No winners before time's up. A prop gun or knife comes to play. Then it's sudden. You know what? Yeah, I done seen some wild sports. Um, I done seen American Ninja Warrior with skateboarders and stuff. I've been watching that for the last week now. It's actually pretty hilarious. So if anybody watched the show MXC, the old show with the Japanese obstacle course show with the bad voice acting, yeah, they got a new show like that, but it's all skateboarders, and it is hilarious. And I haven't seen nobody complete shit yet, so that's let's see, he talk about suits getting tongue tied off the shit. I about forgot where I was at. All right, so as we already know, as we see the top fans of the show writing down, we got top 3. We got Bad Mike Sports, Keyshawn Vlad, and A137. So, like I said, that's y'all at the top of the leaderboards. Keyshawn says our running attack needs to be less predictable. I agree to that. But the thing about it is, when we looked at that game last week, like I said, Tampa Bay pretty much just came out and just said, y'all not beating us with the run game. Like I said, it's not necessarily, like I said, the thing about the run game is has a element of predictability that comes with it. It's all about will, and it's all about, can the opposing team stop it? And what ended up happening with Tampa made the concerted effort to stuff the gaps and take away the run game. And this is why you had 24 combined carries for like 40 something yards, because they would have, like I said, they did not want Bijan and Tyler to take over the game. This was the exact game plan that Ty Bowles used in the Kirk Cousins 509 game. This is why that was the same exact defense they ran. They stopped the run and forced the pass. The thing about it was, we didn't have all the horses in the race in the passing game, so we had to adjust. Like you said, the biggest issue in that game was the fact that, like I said, it was a point they couldn't run the football, but it was about missed opportunities. And this is the perfect week, and this is what Jesse Bates said. We have to take advantage of those opportunities. Like I said, you got a young quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. We cannot take him for granted. You got to force him into mistakes. Like I said, James Pierce, Jalen Walker, Arnold Ebiketie, Brandon Doyle, Zach Harrison. These guys are going to have to put the pressure on him and force him into making a boneheaded mistake. Did I say Ty Bowles? You know what I meant, Ty Bowles. Yeah, 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 yeah. The country accent come out every now and then, so you get what you get. God damn it. You know what I meant, John. Get out of here. Keyshawn Vlad said it's hard to run on Vita Vea. So, it is, in a way, it is. But like you said, when you have Vita Vea and then you have the linebackers behind him, the Savasier Dennis type guys, and you have all the other guys who are filling in these rush lanes and these gaps and stuff like that, it's going to be hard to run anyway. He might well be Tybo. Hell, he do look like Billy Blank. So look. I guess it makes sense. John being a smart ass as usual. But like I said, we always appreciate everybody that come in here and add something to it. But like I said, Tampa basically just ran the same defense they ran against Kirk Cousins in the 509 game. Give up the pass. We not finna get beat by the run. It's just as simple as that. Um, where the fuck was I? Oh yeah. Point number five. Point number five in this thing. Well, it kind of ties in. It kind of ties into it. But sack the damn quarterback when you get an opportunity. Well, technically, point number five kind of ties into the frustrate J.J. McCarthy thing. I'll say it again. Sack the damn quarterback. Like I said, but hold on. My bad. Let me mistake. Point number five is basically what I just said. Take advantage of the opportunities, because, like I said, bro, we don't need another week of us talking about what if we would have got this and what would we got that. As much as we got upset about Young Way Cool missing the field goal, and it would have took us in no overtime. You have to think about it in the aspect. Michael Pettis Jr. scored the go-ahead touchdown with 2 minutes left in the damn game. And before that opportunity, you had 4 to 5 potential uh, game-changing turnover opportunities, i.e., interceptions that was dropped by a multitude of guys on that defense. You had a couple sacks that could have been there if they would have took the opportunity and stayed in their rush lanes and stuff as well. So the loss didn't come exactly on the shoulders of Young Wei Koo. This is what Jude Talk Sports always talks about. It's the 4 to 5 plays that will dictate how whether you win or lose. So, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get a few questions in here about the game. I want to check the temperature in the room, how everybody's kind of feeling about this Sunday night football game versus the Minnesota Vikings. Give a couple minutes so we can, get some questions in here. Um, Mike said K Nellis and all never can be best. Yes, yes, yes. That's another one of those aspects people are refusing to talk about. Like I said, it's easy to put the loss on Young Wei Koo. And Young Wei Koo had no excuses of missing them kicks and doinking kicks. He had no excuses for that. But like you said, also too, you can play into a part the missed opportunities. So, like I said, the thing is, I could be a Falcon fan, I could be upset about a loss, but I'm gonna look at all aspects of why we lost and not crash out on one thing. Hell, let me be honest. Let me be honest with you. The 4th and 1 play, the read option that we failed on. If you really look at the play, Michael Penix fucked that play up. And the reason why he fucked that play up because he did read if it's a read option, he didn't even try to read the D line to see if they was crashing inward. He just gave it to Tyler. But that could be a way to look at it too. Like I said, that loss was a team loss by everybody. So if you got these crash out Karens still bitching about the game, they not looking at it from the full perspective because their minds are so simple. They're going to look at the very last play and say that's the reason why we lost. Yeah, I'm gonna start calling them crash out Karens. That's all I'm at like that. Um, let's see. Carlos said I haven't watched the Vikings. What does their running game look like? We have a good opportunity to be able to stop their run game. The thing about it is that their running backs are very good pass catchers too. So it's pretty much like dealing. It's pretty much like our running back room, but they're not on that level. Like I said, Aaron Jones is a pretty good dynamic back, and it's pretty much gonna come down to that same thing of they're gonna try to get as many easy throws for JJ McCarthy as possible. So we could be able to stop their run game. I ain't worried about that. The biggest threat in the run game is going to be if we lose contain on JJ McCarthy and he starts running around. Let's see. Keyshawn Blast said, I think we can leave AJ on the island against Justin Jefferson. He can, but I have a feeling they're gonna try to move him around like they did last year. My thing is, are they going to be willing to let AJ Terrell travel with Justin Jefferson? Um, Said, was Jeff Ulbrich aggressive enough for you? I think the number that they said was the Falcons had a pressure rate of about 38 to 40% in that game, so it was the most aggressive this defense has looked in a very long time. The like you said, the problem was they were aggressive enough for the simple fact that they only gave up 260 total yards to Tampa, but it just comes back down to making the making the key stops in the key situations, and that's where the defense failed at. That's how Tampa was able to go down the field and get their game where they're off. So they were aggressive enough, and I believe that a guy like Divine Diablo, who played well his first game, is a key factor in his defense because he's a guy who can cover the middle of the field, which allows Caden Ellis to be a little bit more aggressive. But I just think in that final drive against Tampa, they was too conservative. It was almost kind of like a we're playing not to lose instead of playing to win situation, and you could tell. And if you're watching, if you're a sports fan, you can tell when somebody's playing not to lose compared to who's playing to win. Um, the Coleman, what is that trying to accomplish? Running so much of the offense out of pistol. What does it's trying to see? The pistol, the pistol is just an offshoot version of the gun, and this is something that Penix is comfortable with. He's like I said, this is why we saw so much pistol with. See, the thing about a lot of people talking about this pistol formation, a lot of people didn't have this complaint about the pistol last year because the offense was actually. Cause you gotta remember, they literally sat here and ran the same amount of pistol formations they did last year. The problem was this is the first game and the run game didn't go off. So people are questioning the formation. But this is literally the same thing we saw last year. And the pistol is something that Penix is comfortable with. That's why they ran so much of it last year, so he can see it from the sideline on what they needed to do. So I don't have no issue with the pistol. I don't. The reason why I don't, because damn near everybody run the shotgun anyway. It's damn, like I said, it's damn near the same formation, and and key word is damn near. Didn't say it was. You got some smart asses that's watching this. The pistol is not the shotgun. Duh, motherfucker, we know. The reason why people are questioning the pistol right now because the run game got stopped last week. That's why people questioning the damn pistol. This is the same damn offense that we literally was in the top five in. The pistol. Also didn't help the fact that you had about 6 to 7 drops on offense as well that could have added more to it. But like I said, here, there, done, there, whatever. um, let's see. Got any more questions on here about the Falcons Vikings? I'm gonna go ahead and get. And if we don't have any, I'm gonna ask the question, and Auntie Pam gonna like this question. Said 42% ran out of pistol on Sunday. Next was Hurts at 19. Yeah, it's pretty much what they did last year. damn near 50% of our offense was out of the pistol with Kirk Cousins. Like I said, the difference is you don't have a Caleb McGarry, who's one of your best run blockers on the right side. Even though Elijah Wilkinson did his thing, he did his thing at the right tackle. He didn't give up. He didn't give up like no major sacks and stuff like that. It's just that Tampa just they just said, we not finna let you beat us with the run game. That's all. That's all that is. That's the reason why people are complaining about the pistol being used so much because the run game didn't get off against Tampa like everybody thought it would. Pam said, I'm chilling at home. My next road game is New England and Berlin. Oh, Lord. Yeah, she going up north and abroad. So, yeah. I'm about to say, yeah, save your energy on that one. Let's check these fan leaderboards here. We got a four-way tie. We got Keyshawn Vlad. Mike done got overtook. We got John St. Clair, Auntie Pam in here. For those that don't know what the leaderboards is, if you see a crown next to your name, I guess the more that you chat, I guess the more points that you get in the chat, which kind of makes the leaderboards very important. I think that's how it works. Um, y'all got okay. So did last night reveal anything about Green Bay to you? Mm. No, Green Bay is pretty much the same team that I always expected them to be. They have a very balanced offense. I mean, they always, like I said, even with Michael Parsons there being like I said, being the game record that he is, the defense looked exactly the same that I'm used to. Yeah, like I said, Parsons was getting his pass rush, but like you said, Washington had to stop running the football, which gave Parsons the edge as far as him being able to attack the pass, attack the offense. It's a line. Um, let's see. Japan gonna be cold. Yeah. New England and then Berlin. Hey, shoot. That's all. Xavier Littman said, I saw a clip from film study on how Flores like to show eight men at the line, but then only rush four. Do you think MPJ will remain adept at what NFL are going to show him so far? He's a young quarterback. Like I said, all this is going to be dependent on TJ Yates and Zach Robinson on how his progression can go. Like I said, he's a young guy. He's going to see things he ain't used to. I don't know the exact term that they use. Whatever the hell rush. Like I said, show eight, drop seven. Yeah. The best, like I said, the best way to counteract that, like I said, is adapt the short passing game. Use your running backs in the passing game. That's the best way that you're going to be able to counter that. Um, yeah, he is an idiot trying to truck people. um, so Auntie Pam asks, "Is how you feel about the Georgia Tech game?" Okay, so we go right to this point. Okay, so this is gonna be where the part where most of the fans probably gonna leave because this is a Georgia Tech topic here. Um, 12 o'clock noon tomorrow. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets gonna be taking on the Clemson Tigers, the number 12 Clemson Tigers. Um, how do I feel about this game? How do I feel about this game? Let me see. Cade Kubalik as being one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. Clemson's kind of got like a spread open offense. They can mix a little bit of the run. And as we already know with Clemson, they always got uh, a good defense. This game right here in itself, I think I think Haynes King is coming back as the starting quarterback for this game. And Mike and I always have this discussion about Haynes King. Is you have a good Haynes King and then you have a bad Haynes King. And the thing about it is you don't want to have the bad Haynes King overtake the good Haynes King. This is going to be a tough matchup here because Clemson, like I said, Clemson is usually the game, one of the main schools that Tech struggles with because they gonna be real aggressive on defense, and like I said, just like what we talked about with the Falcons and how they like to attack gaps and stuff like that. Like you said, Haynes King is going to have to be Haynes. Georgia Tech's best chance of winning this game is Haynes King is going to have to beat him with his arm, because they're going to expect him to run the ball so much that they're going to be prepared for that. Um, Jamal Haynes. Jamal Haynes is going to be key for this too, because Jamal Haynes, the running back, as you saw in the thumbnail, is a very adept, multi-purpose back himself. Like you said, Malik Rutherford. Defensively, like I said, defensively we got a lot. We have a lot of. I'm not gonna say dogs, but we got a lot of guys. We got a lot of guys who are not afraid of things, but we also don't have as much athleticism defensively as you would expect us to have. Um, I think two of the biggest guys, the two of the players that's going to have big plays in this game is Vandenberg and Amani Harvey. Those two guys are definitely going to have um, stellar games on the defensive side of the ball to kind of stop this Clemson attack. Um, I don't really expect Tech to really win this game. I kind of expect them to lose, but I don't think they're going to lose by a lot. Because I think Clemson overall is just a better team. But we need a Haynes King. We don't need we either need Haynes King or good Haynes King. We don't need bad Haynes King. Keyshawn, shut up. He talking about bad Haynes King throws 5 interceptions. And the thing with Haynes King don't throw a lot of interceptions. Is the fact he runs the ball so damn much. He fumbles damn near 2 times a game. Uh, like Pam said, my daughter's law will be with me for the New England game. Hopefully the weather don't be cool because Auntie Pam do not like cold weather. I think black folks in general don't like cold weather like that. I know I'm one of those as well. Xavier asked, do you predict Jamal Hayes being effective against Clemson? I think he'll be effective. I think he'll be effective. I think they're going to be more so worried about Haynes King running the football than Jamal Haynes. Because Jamal Haynes don't really. If you look at what the Tech offense right now is essentially a modern version of what they used to be like 6 years ago. The difference is they don't run the wing T triple offense. But what they did was they modified it. They modernized it by running it out the gun with a lot of QB powers and sweeps. And they run some options out of that too. So they pretty much done brought back that rushing attack. But Jamal Haynes is a big play guy. and I expect at least a couple out of them. But I think they're going to be so more worried about Haynes King running the football because he damn sure run the ball about 20 times a game, which is a lot for a quarterback. But I ain't gonna say. The Pam said, "How do you think the Atlanta Dream would do? They have a playoff game against Indiana. Um, it's gonna be a very interesting matchup. Like I said, Aaliyah Boston is a dog in the post. Like you said, Kelsey Mitchell, she's hell of a scorer. Um, I think the Atlanta Dream actually has a chance of winning that series because Bree, like I said, as much as Leah Boston is dominant offensively, she's okay defensively, and I think Bree Jones is going to be the key. Is going to be the key factor in that series because she has the skill set that she could help put Aaliyah Boston in foul trouble. Um, like I said, Brittany Griner with her experience at that spot too. Like I said, definitely helps. But we'll need Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard, like I said, to continue scoring the ball like they do. Um, cause I think let me see, Sophie Cunningham. She's one of those lunch pail girls. So I like I said, you don't really expect a lot of production from her, but she's kind of like an emotional engine for that team. But we have one in Tahina Pow Pow, which we do too. But Bree Jones and Brittany Griner is going to be the two key players for the Dream in that series. And if they're able to frustrate Aaliyah Boston and also get her into foul trouble, I think the Atlanta Dream sweeps that series. That's just my opinion. Um, yeah, for the record, I think Georgia Tech's uniforms are way cooler than Georgia's. Oh yeah, yeah. It was real gangster gold, boy. Yes, sir. Um, but getting back to the Tech game, I think from the Vegas odds, I think they got us as a 14-point underdog. I gotta go back and look at it. I think like either a 14 or 20-point underdog in this game. It might be less than that. I have to check it out. But do the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets have an opportunity to upset Clemson? Yes, they do. The thing is, as I said with the Falcons, are you going to take care of the opportunities that are given to you? Because Clemson's going to be looking, they're going to be looking to be high powered and running gun style. Um, okay, she said I spell upset. Key's gonna have that team ready to play here. Encourage everybody to show up and show out. Oh yeah, we got the white out going on. But yeah, it's gonna be all white this game. And shout out to Coach Keys because Coach Keys he's done more for this. He's done more for the psyche of this program than Jeff Collins, who disappointed me, had tried to do. Mm-mm. Now he gonna have them playing. Like I said, the thing is, this game is going to be close. This game is going to. I believe this is going to be a 7-point game. That's how close I think that. Brett Keys has been such a good coach that the Georgia fans actually giving him respect, and that and Lord have mercy, that shocked the hell out of me. So my final score prediction for that game probably is going to be, I say 34-28. 34-28, probably Clemson. I like I said, I think it'll be that kind. I think it'll be that kind of affair. But like I said, let me see what time is it. 8:09. All right, I'm about to go ahead and get up on. I'm gonna go ahead and get up on out of here. Like I said, man, got the ATL Sports end game coming on at 9:15. That you have to catch that over there with Mr. Tactician 78, aka Juan Costello. So we gonna be over there talking some more Falcons previews. There's gonna be me, Juan, Mike, Coach, Fresh. Never know who's gonna be over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all get ready for that. Appreciate y'all coming in. Definitely appreciate all 27 of you. And before we get out of here, looks like the top guy for the show is Keyshawn Vlad. So we definitely appreciate not just you, but everybody who continues to support 6MK Live. Because the thing about it, when I always say we, I'm talking about I'm talking about y'all in the chat and the people that's watching. Because this is not my show, this is our show. And on that note, hey man, as we always say, we ain't here to play, we here to stay. You ain't got to go home, but make sure you turn into the ATL Sports End game because it's going to be fun tonight. All right, people, I'm out.